Good morning and welcome to the third episode of the Hero Podcast. I'm your host, Highland Winnie, and today we are joined by UCSCA President George MacDonald and Ulster County Sheriff's Office Patrol Sergeant Frank Gillespie. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Glad to be here.
Let's get started with why. George, you've been a voice for officers for a long time. What originally pulled you into union leadership?
Being here over 20 years and watching things change over time, and I've never been a proponent of sitting in the back and talking without giving solutions, and it seemed like there was a lot of issues on the table and not a lot of solutions, and I thought I could be somebody that would bring solutions to the forefront, so I threw my name in the hat. I was fortunate enough to win, and for the last year and a half I've been trying to get some things solidified and some solutions to a lot of the problems that are happening today.
And Sarge, you've been on the road for years supporting that team, that part of the division. What keeps you motivated daily in the work you do?
Honestly, I'd have to say it's the new guys and girls. We have pretty much a brand new department. I think our senior-ish people have 4 or 5 years on now. I mean, obviously there's some stragglers, and I've gotten lucky to jump through the different divisions that we have on the roadside. So I got a little bit of experience, and I learned from them as well, so it just keeps everything fresh, and just want to be there for them.
As we all know, first responder community is evolving constantly. We're dealing with staffing issues, morale issues, public perception. From the union perspective, what are some of the biggest challenges that the membership faces on a daily basis?
For us, is in the corrections world, it's just getting people to understand what the job actually is, because I don't know that there's a TV show, movie, anything where the corrections aren't dirty, crooked, beating people up, and it's all just an overreach of what actually happens. You know what I mean? That's a public perception, right? But it's a TV perception. Just like I'm sure with cops, they're like every cop is a bad. You know what I mean? Like how you're perceived on TV, or that every day is a cool day, like you're driving Chargers and it's the Shield. It's not that. It's a stable job. It's a good job. There's good men and women that work it, and that's one of the biggest problems, to get somebody to understand. Hey, this is a job that has a retirement. It has good benefits. Mm-hmm. There's good work being done. And more so now, like, there's a lot more programs now. It used to be like you kind of went to jail and that was it. Now we have the Ignite program, we have the MAT program for, opiate issues. So these are things that are changing in jails, and it's not just the old, you're the prison guard. We're not guards, they're actual officers. They're well trained and they're well versed in different types of issues that go on with the daily community.
How do these changes affect what you do out being in the public every day?
You mean for the jail itself, or just in general for
law
enforcement?
Just in general for law enforcement and being out.
A lot of them make the job harder. Social media makes our job a lot harder, to be honest. Kind of like G-Mac said, going back to TV shows, people watch old things like, was it Crime Scene Tech or SVU, and they think you're going to go to the scene and find the one needle in the haystack that's going to solve the crime, and that's furthest from the truth. Fingerprints and DNA, if it's not on file, you don't get the magic trick like they show in the shows. Social media makes our job hard, even though we have body cameras. People record everything we do, which is fine, but they're only putting out the tidbit that they want to be seen, not what's really happening. And it makes it hard. We had an officer a few years ago, a deputy, that arrested a female for AUO, and the 2-minute clip that went out showed him in the horrible. Thankfully, the sheriff released the whole video, and people were like, wow. And they don't understand what we really have to deal with, what we have to see. And it just brings a bad light on us. You have all these people that are auditors, and I have nothing against them. They want to do their thing, that's fine, but show the whole video. And, we do get a lot of training here. George was 100% right. I was just in Florida for a training. Like, we get sent all over the place. I know you guys do too, and it's very big. That's one thing I do love about our department, is there's an opportunity to keep learning.
Right. Now, officer wellness, that's big on what I'm focusing on these days, and Mike as well. And it's a core theme for the podcast. How is UCSCA approaching wellness with its members?
Well, first, you. You moved over here, and that was, there's been other members from the corrections division that came to wellness, but when you came over here, you were a voice that hit the line staff, right? Because you were somebody who worked inside, people respected you, and people came to you with their personal problems. You're like everybody's bartender, for lack of a better term. Everybody loved Winnie. Everybody talked to Winnie. So now when you have an issue, it's not like I don't know Mike, right? I only know Mike a little bit just recently. But I don't know Mike, right? Or, you had a former lieutenant here, and you had a guy that, your first guest, George Hill, who, yes, he started in corrections, but he did so much stuff for the county, you didn't really see him every day. You were in the trenches with us every day. You worked the pods, you worked the posts, you were mandated. You had a lot of these issues that come up for every man and woman over there. So you're very relatable. Once you put that relatable person in that position, I think it opened the door to wellness, where people are willing to come over here and talk, willing to exercise their option to come in here and have a conversation, where before it was a closed door. They're like, I'm not going to say, Mike's sitting here. I'm not going to go to Mike and say, hey, Mike, this is what's happening, because he really doesn't understand. Like Frank wouldn't understand necessarily what's going on inside. You have that ability where people tend to be able to complain or get things off their chest to somebody that understands what they're talking about. And once that opened up, with you being over here, people started seeing it like, hey, holy cow, things are starting to happen. They are trying to help us out. There is some, light at the end of the tunnel. And the ball game showed it. We had a pretty good showing at the ball game. A lot of corrections people came out, and that's usually not the way anymore. But all of a sudden, you sold, 30-something tickets just through corrections. That was great. So that's a start. And then, you and I had a conversation outside of our little hiccup that we had recently. We were talking about, the union wanted to take some money and buy movie tickets, and we looked into that. Like, when the men and women, you can't go to your kid's Little League ball game because you got mandated. Like in the military, I showed you the MWR site down out of West Point. If I can give you 4-pack of tickets to the Stallions, it's a way, yes, you missed your kid's ball game, but maybe we can make it up. Or here's a movie pass. Go to the movies with your kids. and that's kind of the direction I see this going, and it's great, and people have a lot of positive feedback about that.
Yeah. Now, just in the 6 months I've been here, I've noticed that the buy-in's a little more difficult on the patrol side sometimes. But like events that you hosted, the Behind the Badge event, which I thought was a rousing success. What's wellness for like in your world?
It's hard. You get the stigmata. If I go to wellness, something's wrong. I'm going to lose what I can do. Who am I going to talk to? I'll be personal. A couple of years ago, I had something go on, and one of the guys that came from another PD was like, "You should go talk to somebody." And I'm like, I'm fine, and I feel fine. I know I'm fine, and I'm like, and I don't want to talk to anybody within the department. And it's nothing against anybody who was in here. I just don't. So he gave me a number to a trooper, and I called him, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, you're absolutely fine," which made me feel better because I knew I wasn't nuts. Because people were telling me I should, and I think it's got to be like a perfect mix, if that makes sense. Like trying to cram it down somebody's throat is bad, but I've noticed a little more openness, I would say, over the past couple of months, and I think it's because you and Mike are in here, and same thing for us. Everybody likes Mike, which is a good thing. But I think that's a problem. I think they have to realize just because you come here and unload yourself, it's not a bad thing. Sometimes we all need that. We see stuff a lot of people don't see on both sides. And if you keep that with you, it's going to change who you are. And I think just what you guys I've seen over the past couple months, so much more come out of wellness. Like George said, with the games, with the fundraisers, with the stuff. I think it's bringing people, hopefully opening up their eyes, realizing that you guys aren't just here, for lack of a better term, screwing off. That you're actually here to help, and I'm hoping that'll bring people in. I've tried to send to some of the younger men and women to you guys a few times. We had an incident a few months ago down in I think it was Gardner, and I was talking to the sergeant, and he said his whole squad shut down. They met with I don't know who from wellness, and then they were back to work. So it's proven it helps. It's proven that you guys do what's right. It's just getting it out there and trying to break everybody down to realize it's new times come. You know.
From both of your views, what would be like the number one issue that they're dealing with on a daily basis? For corrections, I would imagine it's the mandatory overtime.
Yeah, staff shortages, mandatory overtime is a huge thing. That's what, there's nothing stable in your life in that world because day to day you don't know if you're going home at the end of your shift. Staffing alone, and that's the thing, like I think, we touched on it in various ways already. Staffing alone, this is a good job. You're not out on a paver at 120 degrees, trying to feed your family. When it's wet, you're dry. When it's hot, you're cool. When it's cold, you're warm. You know what I mean? You get a retirement. There's always opportunity for overtime. It's a very good job. And we're not far behind the times. Our last contract got us up comparable to Dutchess County. So it's a good job, but it's a matter of getting people in to understand it's a good job. It'll be there. And not a lot of jobs offer you a retirement anymore, and that's the issue. So the instability of, am I going home every day? But if we can get the place staffed properly, and you don't need a college education. So if you're 21 years old, you're looking for a job, and you meet the criteria, come apply, because where else, in 5 years, you're going to make $40 an hour without a college education. That's a good job. So if we can staff it, that'll enable us to kind of back off of the anxiety of, can I go home? I'm going to miss my kid's ball game. My wife's not happy because I'm never around. So that's the biggest kind of sticking point for a lot of corrections is the inability to predict your day or your future. Like last night, I was stuck. But the amount of holes, I may be stuck again today. So.
What's the big sticking thing for the patrol guys on a daily basis, guys and gals?
It's nowhere near what you guys have to deal with, obviously, but a lot of it is manpower. We have a squad running very short right now. We take on a lot between new SRO spots, the new divisions that come up, and although they get, a deputy in the budget line for that area, we'll run short in the road. It's been brought up at supervisor meetings that road feels like a special division sometimes because they pull for everywhere else, and they'll give the administration credit where it is due. They have stated, like, if, for example, if there's two boats out and less people on the road, one boat's coming in and they're going on road patrol. So they're trying. It's just to make the deputies see that as well, because we all know once your mind is set one way, it's hard to come back in.
It's tough to get it out, yeah.
And, we try to fix the morale. We try to do things, like you guys were talking about the football game. We literally paid $10,000 to union for our guys to go to a football game, and I got to tell you, did nothing for morale.
Right.
So I think the way that wellness is doing it on a volunteer, but you're going to pay for yourself to go, I think that's better because that really means they want to go, they want to be with each other.
Right.
But yeah, it's just the morale issue overall, and it's the whole department. It's on both sides. When we do things, I try to include both sides because I want us to be one team again, and it's just Mando's. Like I run our car seat team with Detective Mosel. And trying to get Crystal or Amy out of the jail is like pulling teeth. And I understand it. I don't want anybody to be mandoed for it. Believe me. But it's just like, I think that would, like, your men and women try to get on special team to get out, and they can't. And I mean, for me, that would beat me down as well, because you guys are, and I've always said for us, like, I did, as you know, you were there, I did an internship with you guys, and I took both tests. I just got road patrol. I really do think, and I mean, I'm not trying to steal your people, so don't shoot me, either of you, but I do think the best cops come from the jail.
I agree with that.
You do,
Yeah.
because you guys, you're with these people every day. You get to learn them, and like, people don't realize, especially younger ones, they're in jail. They made a mistake. Like, let's be honest, right? So you need to learn that respect, and I think that would boost the morale as well, because you're learning what each other does all the time.
I pitched an idea last week in labor management that you take any of your part-time positions, say you have 10 part-time police officers deputies coming available. To do that, you come and work with us for a year. That gives us a temporary 10 officer fill, and it's only going to make you better at with your IPC skills, talking to people in the public.
Yeah.
Like, believe it or not, we can talk.
Yeah.
I know that's
You
a
have
big
to.
misperception, but
Yeah.
we're in there with Timmy and Jimmy. That's it. You don't have anything else with you.
Yeah.
It's your IPC skills, talking people down, having discussions. There's a lot more talking than you realize in that world.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, and I know you're not trying to steal people, but some of the best people that are on the deputies now were former COs.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
Big focus is on leadership. We're lucky enough that the sheriff and the undersheriff and Captain Story, who was Lieutenant Story, came from wellness. There's a big buy-in on the top end. How do we get leadership all the way through the chain to buy in as well?
I think one of the easiest things would be, like Mike just brought up before, he's got access to CAD, right? I think, and I know they're supposed to come up with some program, so you guys will know. I think every day that you guys come in, it's check CAD to see what happened the night before. Call over to jail, see if there's an incident. Because I think once the leadership sees that you guys are more involved, like, you're not waiting for us to reach out to you. Like, you came in and you realized, okay, and I don't want to say on the show, like, what X happened last night, we know somebody needs somebody to talk to, then immediately you guys are out. If it's a night shift, obviously you're going to do it that way. And I think that's a problem. I honestly think certain areas think that you guys are just a fluff off, for lack of a better term. You guys are here just doing nothing. I mean, I know you guys well enough, and we've had a few conversations recently, and Mike and I have as well, where I know that's not what you guys do. But again, it goes back to, listen, it's like cancer, right? You get one negative person, and then they sit with that other person, and that person could have the most positivity in the world. What happens in a month, 2 months, 3 months? They're down. So I think the more you guys help out yourselves and you see that, and but it's not always Mike comes to road, you go to jail, because George hit it nail on the head, and I didn't even think of it. They don't know Mike, and a lot of our new guys don't know you, right? So I think and I don't know how well this works, but like if you guys go together or switch it back and forth, this way everybody from the, because you need vacation, you need days off, and so does Mikey.
Right.
This way everybody knows, okay, listen, Mike's not here for the road, we can go to Highland, and same thing for the jail. They know we can go to Mike, and I think the more the leadership sees you involved like that, it's better for you guys.
Yeah. From your perspective, what does a healthy shift look like for CO?
Everybody goes home safe. That's it. I mean, you can't predict every day. This is the most fluid job there is. We have, say, I don't know, I'm just going to use fictitious numbers. We have 25 posts that can turn into 29, or it could turn into 22.
Right.
You just don't know. And I know there's more than that. I'm just saying, and that could happen at 3:50 as you're walking out the door, or that could happen at 8:05 once you walk in the door. So a healthy shift, everybody going home, and preferably not mandated. You know what I mean? That's a healthy shift for everybody.
How about from your side?
I'm gonna co-sign what George said.
Yeah.
Obviously, go home safe is our number one rule. But so I've had this talk with a few deputies, and what I would love to see, and the problem is the county would have to get on board, is I would love to see day shift minimum. I mean, we would need more manpower per se, but a minimum of 6 deputies working, not vacation stuff. So if you need 8 or 10 on the shift, you need 8 or 10 on the shift. But I think every shift should have 4 single cars and 2 double cars to cover the 4 posts of the county, and the double cars for backup. And I think the night shift should have a minimum of 8 people, because one thing I love the state police do is after midnight or after 11 they double up, and we should have 4 double cars running at night. I worked Southwest, which is, the Honkston, basically from Marbletown down to Ellenville, that side of the mountain. When I first started, I've gone to domestics by myself, I've gone to a gun call by myself, and everybody's like, wait for backup. The problem is, you don't have backup. Your closest backup's 40 minutes away with our job. So back to what George said again, you need to learn how to talk to people. You are much more apt to do something, especially at night when you have no backup, if you have your backup sitting next to you.
If you're working on developing a new leader, what are the qualities that you guys want in that person?
Accountability and action. I don't know. I can't speak for Frank, but one of the biggest frustrating points for me in the last year and a half as the president is I go to a meeting about a meeting about a meeting to have another meeting. Now, discussions are good, but at some point there has to be an action. You know what I mean? So if I'm building a leader, I want somebody that's going to have some action. I was nominated president, right? I have to have tough conversations at times. And that falls on me to say it regardless of what the outcome is, right? So that is something I need out of a leader, there's times you need to say it even though you don't want to have to be the one to say it. And availability and someone that's around. Like if I just know there's a boss, but I never see the boss, it's kind of like, is he? Is he not? Is he active? Are they not? Or her? You know what I mean? One good thing I think the sheriff did recently was when he promoted Anthony Maggio to superintendent, he brought somebody in that was one of us. For like 2 or 3 superintendents, we were outside the agency. Now that can be good and bad, right? But I think we found out there's such a disconnect, and it didn't do much in the way of positivity, right? So you bring in somebody from our side, and I hope that trend continues. I just hope there's people that are more visible. You know what I mean? Like when you come down and they see you somewhat frequently, it makes it, even though, what's the biggest misconception? Admin's against us, right? There's a separation. If you're down there all the time, they're in it with you, right? So it's like, if you see the general before the war, he's there with you. And that's what you want. Just somebody that's more accountable, somebody that's more actionable and present.
Yeah.
You're leading people on a daily basis. People report to you. If you're going to groom somebody to later on take over your role, what qualities are you looking for?
One of the biggest things I've learned over the few years I've been a sergeant is it's okay to make a mistake. I've made them as a sergeant. Own it. Learn from it. Grow from it. Just because you get these stripes or the double bar, single bar, all the way up to the boss, you're not perfect. You're a human. And if you pretend you know everything, no matter how young the deputy is or how old the deputy is, they're not going to respect you, right? But also get out there with them. Now, there's times you can't, if you're out and there's a lockout, handle it, right? If there's little things you can help them with, do it. And I've tried to explain, you can't be the proactive sergeant where you're handling everything because you need to be available for them, but work with them. I had a deputy, when I first got promoted, I was out stopping cars with him. He was like, I wasn't going to do anything tonight. He goes, but as soon as I heard you on the radio, I had to go out and work. That made me feel amazing, right? And I'm not the best sergeant, but I've learned what I've liked and don't like from other sergeants that I worked with. And that's all I want. Take, whatever you like from me, take. Whatever you don't like, learn from. And I think whoever's going to be a leader needs to understand you're not perfect and own that. Everything else, George hit a nail on the head. I couldn't agree more.
With the strides we've made recently with increasing the awareness about wellness in the first responder community, with your guys' help, where do you see this going in the next 5 years?
Honestly, I think the sky would be the limit. Just to be honest, it's on you two and whoever else is in wellness, right? Mm-hmm. You can go around, you can do surveys, you can do what you want. Most people are unfortunately going to tell you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear, right? I think you guys just need to be open. You're both smart guys, which is good. You're both senior guys, right? So George said it, you guys have been in the trenches. You know what sucks and what doesn't suck. Learn from it and move on. Same thing, if you guys make a mistake, I made a bad mistake, help it and go forward. And I just think you guys, I don't want to say shoving it in their throats and being in their face, but I do believe what I said before is true. The more you guys are proactive in seeing the bad and hitting it before somebody has to tell you, will make people have more faith and trust because they realize you guys actually care. This isn't just,
being present.
Yeah.
How about you?
I think society's going to help you guys, honestly, because the stigma of not talking is going away. You have UFC fighters in the cage now saying, men talk. I'd rather have a hard conversation than stand at your funeral and tell your family, that you're my brother. So I think that stigma's going away, and that will help over time, because that's one of the biggest things, like Frank alluded to earlier. If I'm going over here and did I lose my machismo, and am I fragile now? Should I have my gun? And I think that's going away. And I think what you guys are doing that's great is there's not a week that goes by we don't hear something from wellness, which is great. So that makes me know that you're always there. Like, I actually look forward to, what are they coming out with this week? What's Winnie cooking up? Now we got a Yankee game coming. Now we got, a basketball game on the way. And that matters because, we all, if you're a parent and you have a kid, at some point when they get in them teenage years, the conversations start to spread out. And you just keep sending the signals out there, and then eventually they get to an age that they come back, right? So as long as you keep putting them signals out there, people will come to you. And I think they know you're not going away now. You're active, and Frank said it before, you guys are active over here. It's not like before where we kind of knew it was here, but what did they do? Now we know what you're doing. We know what's going on. And this podcast is a big part of that. This is every week or every 2 weeks or however you do it. You're out there, so people know things are happening over there, and there's a way that there is help, and there is, maybe somebody I can call that's, even if you guys can't help me, you can help me find who can help me.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, shifting gears. I've been looking forward to this one because we're all friends outside of here as well, so that we can have some fun with this. It's going to be a rapid fire round. I want a quick, don't overthink the response, one or two word response.
The fact he's smiling is
Are
scary.
you trying to get us fired, or?
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely not. All right, so I'll start it off, and we can go George and Frank. One leadership trait every officer should develop.
Accountability.
Yeah, I'm with that.
All right.
100%.
Most underrated skill in the first responder community.
Gift of gab.
Knowledge.
One thing the public doesn't realize about our job.
We're human.
It's not like TV.
Yeah.
Beverage of choice on a long shift. 2 water, guys. There we go. Which is refreshing to not see 2 Red Bulls
Oh, if you see
going
it,
up.
and anybody with less than 5 years that's just double fisting energy drinks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Couple of wellness rapid fires. What's one small habit that makes a difference in your wellness?
For my mental health,
Yeah.
so unfortunately, I'll be as quick as I can. My generation it doesn't exist, but watching what you guys are doing is honestly helpful.
A habit that I have?
Yeah.
No, I messed that up then.
Yeah. Being, realistically getting up, a routine, like a morning routine, is huge to my day.
I'll agree with
Personal reset after a tough call or a long day.
music.
Music.
Yeah, love music.
Music and driving.
Amen.
And podcasting.
Yeah.
That's my first.
But music,
so-
after a long day, though, I'm not going to a podcast.
Yeah, that's
I'll
true.
drive with good music.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And last one, what gives you hope for the future of our community?
You
This
want
one you can take your time
the
with.
law enforcement community or like community as a whole?
Or the law enforcement community.
So, I don't even know how I want to word it. We are such a new generation. I mean, I know 10 years ago I would have told you everybody in the jail and everybody on road patrol. Then I saw a deputy the other day, I had no clue who it was, right? You know what I mean? I see people walking out of the jail, don't know them. What would give me hope, and I'll be corny for you guys for a second, is what you guys are doing, because you guys aren't focusing just on road and just on corrections, right? You guys seem to be trying to get everybody together.
Right.
And honestly, that's what we need here. Like, when I first started, we'd go out, like, I'd hang out with you guys more, like, we'd go to the events, and I'd be at the corrections table more, because that's how it should be, and we need to realize that we are one family.
Right.
And let's be honest, in this day and age with cell phones and public perception, we don't have anybody but each other. So what gives me hope is you guys continue what you're doing and bringing us together, realizing that we do need to talk. I know I joked about mental health, but like for me, my generation, but George hit it on the head. When you got UFC fighters saying it's okay, I think that's huge, because we all do see stuff that, minus the military, most people outside the first responder community won't see.
Right.
And I think the more that you guys keep doing what you're doing and keep showing that you're there and keep, like, you got George and I mean, obviously we go way back to when I started in 06 with you guys. That's what we need. And that's what will give me hope, is to see that the younger generation realizes we're together and that you guys are there, and whoever your next people are to take up for you, continue to do the same thing.
One thing I've noticed, definitely on the corrections side, I'm hoping the road the same way, is the new hires that have been coming in the last few years are so used to having SROs in the schools, being involved with their counselors to establish their futures, that this isn't foreign to them. They come in expecting it and knowing it already, so that stigma's not there with them. It's getting the veteran staff to buy in with them as well.
I'll leave that one for you, because I don't know how to change that one.
Well, I think what gives me hope is it the Explorer program? Is that what they call it?
Yes, the cadets.
Or the cadets. To see young kids still wanting to come in and do this job, and there's a lot of females in that world too now, where I think, back when we were all young men, or you know what I mean, and graduating high school, that wasn't a popular thing for women to go in the military or in the police force, right, or corrections. Now, when you watch the cadets, I think it's 50-50 almost. It's pretty close, when they graduated last week there.
Yeah.
So to see that many young people wanting to still do the job, that gives you hope, right? Because for a while there, like 5 years ago, I was wondering if it was just going to die out, as far as outside of a paycheck, right? Because some people do this for pride. They always, community pride, whatever, civil pride. But now you're seeing these kids that really want to do this job again, and they're coming in doing the cadet program. So that gives you hope, right? Because there's some people that are still on. We are a nation of laws, and we're law enforcement. I know that's not always fun or popular, but it's what's there. So for kids to actually choose this, that's awesome.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, now that we're at the end of the show, you feeling better?
Oh, yeah, lovely.
All right, good. Now, guys, I want to thank you both for coming on today, because it's great to have the perspective of a union leader and a leader of our masses sitting down and having this conversation. Once again, thanks to Sheriff Figueroa, Under Sheriff Mullen, Lieutenant Craig Miller, welcome aboard, Captain Story, who's been a big supporter, my buddy Mike here, my right-hand man at the studio helm today, Connie and everybody else who helps out on a daily basis. So, to our listeners, remember that the hero in the first responder community isn't just the person who shows up for the call. It's the people who support them, advocate for them, and stand beside them. Whatever you're facing, wherever you're serving, remember, don't let the hard days win. See you in 2 weeks.